Hi, I'm Colton Roy, the owner of Royal Rigging, and today we'll be answering some of the most frequently asked questions on the internet and some of the questions you guys ask. Never, absolutely not, never go near the minimum braking strength. You don't want to make a mistake and it break right away.
Big announcement! Tekamo and Mueller Coupes have joined forces to collaborate on a Tekamo edition product. We can't say much yet, but trust us, you'll want to be ready when it drops. Follow Tekamo and Fortis and be the first to know when the product is officially released. Limited quantities, once they are gone, they are gone. Bye-bye!
I was a crane operator for 10 years before transitioning into selling rigging supplies and learning so much more about all different kinds of rigging that, I didn't see every day. We're going to start with some of the user submitted questions here. User at number 18 stir, is there any approved shackles that are not Crosby? Yeah, so Crosby is a very well-known brand in the industry. It's been around for a long time, making high-quality products. Yes, there are lots of other different brands of shackles that are approved. For a rated shackle, it needs to have the company manufacturer name, so this one's a Rigget, the working load limit, which is 8.5 ton, and 1 inch is the pin size on it. If any of those are not on it, it's not supposed to be used for overhead lifting and is really only general purpose for towing or load securement, tying down, things like that. Next question, at Big Harris 16. Honestly, just make a video of the guys explaining how they rig stuff. We might learn a trick or two from a different style. All right, so vertical, choker, and basket. So a vertical is a straight pull like this, no twists in it. Twist will derate it as well. So a straight pull like this gets your optimal. So this is a 1 inch 2-ply I&I sling, and it's good for 3,200 in a vertical. And then a choker it's gonna choke like this. So it's kind of sets up like a noose. So then it's derated down to 75% because of the vertical, because of this sharp corner here and the pressure put on the choke. Things with the choker too, is you can get excessive wear on your eyes, on like web slings, from friction as it chokes around itself and back. Not so big of a deal on like if you're choking one item, but if you're choking like a bundle of something and it comes together, so you should get a Sling Saver shackle or a normal shackle and use that instead so the friction's on the metal. So an ideal choker, especially when you're dealing with multiple items that you're bundling, is to use a shackle instead. This one's obviously oversized, but you're gonna go around so that all your friction's on the metal and not on the eye of the sling. The only thing you gotta worry about when you do that is to make sure your pin is on the eye, because as this tightens up, it could back off the pin, but it won't on this side. It's still the same working load as a normal choker. The benefit to this too is that you don't have to feed it through and bring it off the hook. Once you lower down, especially using long slings, you can just undo the shackle and then pull your sling out and leave it hooked up. A true basket would go around a load like that, where it goes to say a spreader bar that lifts and makes sure that these are vertical. If you just hook it back to the hook, it's full basket working load, because now you've got a sling angle from horizontal again. This is what a true basket, when it says a basket rating of 6,400, which is usually, a basket rating is always double what your vertical rating is, if it's a true basket. From at Brad K8031, how much strength do you lose as the angle becomes more acute on chains? Example, a large object chained to a single point. Love Mueller and Koken products, FYI. Keep up the good work. So the rating for that sling in a straight vertical is at its potential. As that comes down and down farther and farther, you're actually pulling more sideways as you're pulling up too. So it's got to be calculated more and more. A 2-leg sling, perfect lift is at 60 degrees. So your 2 lift points, your angle is measured off your horizontal, so off of your load to your sling, not off the hook. You're not supposed to lift anything below a 30-degree angle. That's actually 50% derate of what it could be at 60 degrees. It's pulling at that point equally in as equally up. If you go below 30, there's not even math on it because it goes up so high, and that's how guys break their slings. So you really got to pay attention to sling angle. The guys will put up a chart for you on the reduction factor on the sling angle. And here are some of the most frequently asked questions that we get on the internet about rigging. What does working load limit, WLL, mean, and what main factors can reduce a rigging gear's capacity? So working load limit used to also be referred to as safe working load limit, but the industry's changed that to just working load limit now. The main factors that can reduce it are wear and tear. Like if it's a web sling, it can be UV, it could be mud, it could be cuts in it. Working load limit is only of a brand new chain or a brand new piece of rigging. So as that rigging has gotten a lot older, you should be considering what you're putting on it or replacing it. How does working load limit differ from minimum breaking strength, and why is that distinction crucial for safety? Minimum breaking strength is when it will break and catastrophic failure will happen. The working load limit is what the max you can pull on that item. You're not allowed to go over top of that. So all rigging has a safety factor built into it for wear and tear, for people not knowing how to rig it, for accidental overload. A lot of safety built into it. In North America, the working load is always like, in chain, it's 1/4 of the breaking strength, so 1/4 of it. For chain, anything with 5 to 1, it's 1/5. So it's not supposed to break for 5 times the working load, and that would be your minimum breaking strength. Most all rigging here has a 5 to 1 safety factor. Chains have a 4 to 1. A lot of stuff has up to 6 to 1, even though its minimum needs to be 5 to 1. Shackles and wire rope, for example, usually always hit 6 to 1. They want a safety factor built in there because you don't want to make a mistake and it break right away. So the minimum breaking strength is there, but definitely not meant to go to. Never, absolutely not. Never go near the minimum breaking strength. How do I know if rigging equipment is still safe to use? What should I inspect for? This is a very loaded question. There's lots of different things depending on the rigging you're using. Wire rope, you're looking for kinks, bird caging, stretched links, and things like that. There's a whole bunch on that if you want to see another video on, a full video on, we can do. Web slings, don't want nicks and cuts to a certain size, UV damage, very heavy with mud. Tags and labels ripped off of any rigging you can't use because you don't know what it is when it's been inspected last. So chain has a kind of a benefit to see that it's been overloaded before it fails, is that there's lots of visible signs before it'll actually break. There's some really big things there that you got to watch out for. So here's an example of a chain that we got brought in that was been extremely overloaded. Starting from the top, this is a new one. It's a different brand, so it's not quite the same size, but you can see that it's quite wide here, points in here that's wore. You're not looking for a lot of wear and tear on the edges here. You're not allowed less than 10% wear from original length, or it has to be removed. Another sign too of an overload is the connecting link is seized. So it won't bend and move freely. That usually means that the pin's been bent a little bit inside here. Another sign is just obvious, is the hook is actually stretched. And I mean, it still kind of functions, but that is been extremely overloaded. You'll notice with chain that's been overloaded too, there's not much twist in it. It's been stretched so tight that there's not much free movement in it compared to a new chain. Now let's go back and answer some more questions. Next one is tagline deployment. What is the purpose of a tagline and why should I even use it? And is there a general rule for when to use them? Taglines are a safe way to control the load without being underneath it or having your hands on it. It just keeps you safe away from if anything were to happen, something were to fail above you, you've got this safety factor built in to distance. It is recommended to use all the time if you can. If anybody that's never used a tagline before, or if you don't have one, a lot of guys will just put their hands on it, but if that thing is above your head and now you're reaching and now you're getting in under the zone, if that rigging was to break, if one side of that rigging is to break, could it swing over and land on you? Could it swing this way? So you're really just trying to get yourself out of the danger zone. And by using this tagline, you're 10, 15, 20, 30 feet away sometimes. If you're using it on a machine that can be mobile, like an excavator that's moving with the load, if that machine just hits some uneven ground and that load shifts like that, it could knock you over. It doesn't necessarily have to be a failure. When you're with the tagline, you've got that extra safety factor built in there too. So this one, can you tell us a story of a catastrophic or near failure? I've just heard of one that kind of comes to my mind right now goes back to sling angle. Somebody was lifting a 40-foot sea can and they had probably quite short rigging, maybe like 25-foot long rigging. So that each leg was 25 feet. And so yeah, that does add to 50 feet, but that sling angle, I'd have to do the math, but that sling angle was way below 30 degrees on a light little chain. Sure, the rating on the tag said it was good for the weight of the sea can at 60 degrees, not at 20 degrees or whatever they were using. And as soon as they put on a bunch of weight on that, it just broke the chain and it had a catastrophic failure. Ideally, when you're doing that, is just to have long enough rigging so that you can get above that 30 degrees. Up into the 45 is ideal, 60 is best, and have working load strengths up to par too. Make sure that your rigging can handle what the total load of the weight you're lifting. And that was all the questions we had about rigging today. Frequently asked questions, user submitted questions. If anybody has any more questions about rigging and safety, about rigging and use and different types, leave it in the comments below and we'll do another video. Colton Roy with Royal Rigging. Thanks for watching and we'll catch you guys next time. Nice, we got some hats. Some snapback hats, all different kinds, brown and black and camo. All of these hats will be on FortisHD.com if anybody wants any. I like them.